Right, I'll give you a picture.
Okay.
I want you to treat me as a pupil at the train stage.
Okay.
I've got a test coming up in about 2.5 weeks' time.
Yeah.
And my instructor who couldn't make it today, because he's gone off playing golf, I believe.
Okay.
Said we were going to look at my emerging. He's just been looking through the different subjects, see that I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's T junctions emerging left and right, yeah?
Yep.
So what level am I?
So it's trained, so 2.5 weeks to test.
Yeah.
So emerging at T junctions going both left and right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so if you're happy with the word picture, then I'll hand over to you for the...
Yes, okay.
You can call me Tony for this one.
Okay, right here.
But I'll answer to anything.
I know you do. Fiddle. Alright. Okay. Hi there, Tony. My name's Nick.
Hi, Nick. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Now, I had a quick word with your instructor last night, and what he would like me to go through today with you is how you deal with emerging at T junctions, going both left and
That's
right.
what he said.
Okay.
Today, yeah.
Now, he did also tell me that you've got your test in 2.5 weeks' time, so we need to sort of polish up on those particular areas that he said. Okay. So.
Oh, he didn't say there was anything wrong with it.
No, he just wanted me to look at that particular subject. Yeah. So, before we go off and have a bit of a drive, just a quick couple of questions just to sort of see where we are. You've obviously done junctions turning left and right, okay? What sort of procedure, what sort of system do you tend to use from when you're turning out of junctions?
Oh, we use the MSM routine.
Okay, and that stands for?
Oh, mirror seeking position.
Okay, fantastic, good. So that's the system that we're going to be looking at closely today. And if you're coming up, going along the road, how would you identify that you're actually coming up to a T junction? What sort of signs?
I see one up ahead there, look.
That's it, that's exactly right. So
and watch out, I tend to watch out for cars coming from the left to the right or right to the left.
That's it.
And you sometimes get a road sign and you see the road marking.
Yeah, actually, that's perfect. So obviously that's what we're going to be looking at today, making sure we're identifying them nice and early and using that procedure. So if you've got any other questions, we'll get ourselves ready and then we'll go for a drive.
Yeah. I might be a bit nervous today because I'm getting a bit nervous with my test coming up. So.
Well, 2.5 weeks, not long now. I know the feeling. Okay, all comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we drive off, Tony, could you just confirm to me what you can see in your rear view mirror, please?
I can see the headrest, the headlining. I can see a bit of my headrest and a bit of yours.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably see the whole back window.
Okay, that's good. So that's the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
What about your driver's and passenger side mirrors?
I can see about 2 finger width to the car.
Mm-hmm.
See the sky at the top and the horizon in the middle?
Okay.
Pretty much same enough.
Same there. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so when you're ready, what we're going to do is start the car and we'll drive on, please.
End of the road, we're going to turn left.
So at the end of this road here, Tony, we are going to turn left, please. Okay. Now, what we should do when we pulled out of this junction, Tony, we'll just talk about where we should be positioning ourselves because we don't want to sit at the junction.
And we're going to turn right.
And then we're going to turn right. Now this time make sure we're going to stop behind the giveaway line, please. That's it. So, how would you judge how to sort of position yourself correctly?
Oh, it's stopping the giveaway line.
That's right. Okay, that's good. Now there's nobody behind us. Why is it important to make sure that we do stop correctly at the junction?
Oh, it's dangerous. If somebody was coming down the road, I could make them swerve, or they could even hit me, couldn't they?
That's true, that's true. So what I'll do is just give you a little bit more guidance when we're coming to the next one. Okay. Now before we get to any other junction, what other sort of hazards do you think you might encounter at, for example, turning We're going to go left at the junction. Say, for example, any other hazards that you might encounter here.
Somebody could come out of that shop, couldn't they?
So if a pedestrian did come out, how would you deal with them? Say, for example, they're still on the pavement. Would you...
I look at them and watch their body language.
Okay, that's good. But you wouldn't beckon them at all?
No, it's dangerous, isn't it?
That's good. Why is it particularly dangerous to pedestrians if you beckon them?
Well, I've got no control over what the road users are doing, have I?
No, that's true. That's good. But what happens if we said we came to a junction and we had, for example, a pedestrian that had already had their foot on the road surface? What would you then do?
Oh, I'd stop.
Okay.
You can't run them over, can you?
No, that's true. Okay. And you know, as you say, you don't want to beckon them. You want to make sure that they.
And we're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right at the end of this road here, please, Tony. Again, we've stopped a little bit short here, Tony. If you just like to look for that to give line coming into you at the side of your door mirror again, like you did last time. That's good. And again, we've got a car behind, so I'll talk about it. So making sure that it's clear. See, again, we need to make sure that we're stopping. Not just, you quite rightly said about you don't want to stop beyond the line, but there, if we're stopping a bit short of the line, you're blocking your view out of the junction. So if you're blocking your view, what problem might that cause?
I'll be there for ages, wouldn't I?
You'll be there because you can't see correctly, that's right. But what will the other car drivers have a potential problem with?
Have I stopped in the right place this time?
Yes. I think so. Can't see a line.
Yeah, the line's just on the odometer.
That's it. So that's the thing you're looking for. You're making sure that at reference point, the line that you saw was coming in just underneath the wing mirror, just there. So that's what you look for when you're coming to junctions where we're going to be emerging.
That's important, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Because like I said, you know, like you said, you didn't want to go beyond the junction, but also you want to, like we did earlier on, we want to make sure we don't stop too far back, because otherwise you can't see. Now, another thing, again, before we come to a junction, just remind me how you judge when you're emerging from a junction, how you might be judging whether there's a sufficient space.
Oh, she's experienced now.
Years of experience with your test in 2.5 weeks, yes?
No. I've been learning to drive for 8 months.
Yeah. So, how would you, I mean, yes, you're right, you've got a lot of experience, but what is there a sort of a system that you would tend to use to make sure that there is going to be sufficient space? Any sort of guidelines that you would use?
I used to use that walk across, drive across thingy.
Excellent. You used to use it?
Well, I can kind of judge it now.
Okay, that's good. So that's the sort of thing you're looking for, is you're making sure that there's sufficient distance. Time, I should say.
Next on the right, please.
So we're going to take the next turning on the right, please, Tony.
And next turning to the right, please.
Okay, and we're then going to take the next road on the right, please, Tony, if you would.
And turning right.
And we're then going to go right again, please, if you would. Sorry, we're going to turn right.
road left.
So at the end of this road, Tony, we're going to turn left, please. Okay, once we've turned out of here, Tony, if I could ask you to just pull up and stop on the left, please.
Is something wrong?
No, not yet. Let me just discuss it.
Want me to wait here? There's nobody behind me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I would say is that when we're going to turn left, don't forget we need to be getting our position correctly over to the left-hand side. Okay, because we've got a lot of space on our left-hand side, so we could have a car coming, a motorcycle or something coming through on the left. So when we're going up to approach the junction, remember we were talking about position, trying to make sure that we're about a metre from the side of the road. Okay. Now, what problem could be caused by us being positioned here and looking to turn left?
I think you already told me, haven't you?
Exactly, you've got that gap there. So what we need to make sure we're doing is when we're coming up to the junction again, is try and make sure that we've got ourselves in the correct position.
Next on the left.
So we're going to take the next turning on the left.
Left again?
And left again, please, Tony, if you would. And then once we turn left, if you could look for somewhere to pull up and stop on the left, please. So if you just pull up and stop on the left, please.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, that was the last two left turnings you've done were very nicely judged. Nice turning there. How did you guide yourself doing those two left turns when you're turning left from a main road into a side road?
I follow the curb round.
Okay, brilliant. That's exactly the technique you want to use for when you're doing the emerging. Remember we talked earlier on about an emerging where you'd been positioned a little bit too far to the right. Try and use that reference point that you're using following the line of the curb. Same reference point, use it for when you're coming out of a junction as well as going in.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember why I used it now.
Okay.
Why I used to use it.
I mean, why you did it beforehand was, what do you think?
Oh, I remember. I used to when I started learning to drive.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get too close and be on the curb.
And that would guide you around the corner. Okay. Now, why would your instructor have tried to make sure that you use a guidance to make sure you don't either run wide or don't go up the curb?
I think he was getting fed up replacing that left alloy every
Yeah,
year.
and keep scuffing it. That's one thing, but also don't forget, if you do actually go left and turn too tight, if you end up on the pavement, what might be the problem there?
Pedestrians, yeah.
That's true, and that's turning too tight. If you go through that corner and you don't turn tight enough, where is the front of your car going to end up?
Oh yeah, I did used to go wide.
That's exactly, running wide into the other lane. Okay, and again, what's the problem that might cause to other road users?
They'd have to stop, or they might even hit me.
Yeah, exactly right. So what we want to do when we're coming to left turns, when we're coming out of junctions, try and use that same guide, that same reference point again. Okay?
Shall I drive, man?
Yeah, if you would, please.
And turning left.
Sorry, turning left.
Yeah.
Yeah, turning left here, please, Tony. So, here we go. Same sort of junction we've just done. What points are we looking for?
Follow it red.
That's great. Nicely done.
And turning left.
And we're going to go left here, please, Tony. Okay, slow it down a bit, Tony. Oops. I should have been on that much earlier. Apologies for that. So, if you'd like to just pull up and stop on the left for a moment, Tony, because we're actually out into the junction. Okay. Now, that's it. Now, clearly, I should have been telling you a lot earlier about that. The speed that we came into that junction was much too fast. Okay. What's the consequence of coming into a junction at that sort of speed, like we saw just then?
A bit of a job stopping, didn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so when we're coming up to a junction, you can see you've identified where there's a junction where we're going to be turning at a give-way line. What sort of speed do you feel you should be getting down to?
Well, I thought I could see enough there until the last second, and I realised I couldn't.
That's exactly right. So why is it then important to make sure we slow down earlier? So we've identified the junction, slow down earlier, and then that will give us time to be able to look and make a much more informed decision when we're coming out of a junction. So when you're coming up to a give-way line, make sure we've got speed down to about 10 miles an hour, no, probably 5 miles an hour to junction like that, to make sure that it's given us time to see if it is clear. If there's any doubt, then you want to be able to stop before the junction line. So same rules as we've had before. If we went beyond the give-way line, what's the problem caused to other road users?
Could hit anybody, couldn't
They could hit them, okay? And it doesn't give you the right amount of time to be able to make a correctly informed decision. So next time we're coming up to a junction, when we're seeing them like that, just make sure we've got the speed slowed down earlier. So we're looking to be at the junction, be doing 5 mile an hour at the junction.
Left.
At the end of the road, we're going to go left. So just remind me, Tony, what sort of speed do we want to have the car down at before we get to the junction?
You said about 5 miles an hour.
That's it. Let's make sure we're covering the. Okay. Now, also, when we turn out of the road, where should we make sure that we're looking?
Everywhere.
Yes, but that's true. But once we've committed to the turn, where should our focus be?
Into the way I'm steering.
Exactly right. And what was happening there is, as you're going left, you were concentrating on the right. What do you think is the problem with that? If we're not looking where we're going.
Oh, I thought I was.
Well,
anything could happen. Somebody could walk out behind me, couldn't they?
Exactly right. So once you've made the decision to come out of that junction, your focus should be, no, I'll rephrase that, must be in the direction that you're going. Because as you quite rightly said, you might not see any pedestrians. Consequences of the problem with that is pedestrian might step out, you might end up hitting them. So when we come to again any junction like that, we're going to go right here, please, Tony. See, there's a good example. When you turned into this junction, where did you turn your head and look?
That's right.
Exactly.
Turning left.
And we're going to go left here.
And left.
And at the end of the road, we're going to go left, please, Tony. Now, what must we make sure we do before we put our signal on?
Check the mirrors.
Well, actually, then you need to check them. Make sure you check your rear view mirror. And which other mirror?
The left one.
Well, then, check it then. Why is it important to make sure we check them?
Oh, distance and speed and bicycles, isn't it?
Exactly right. So, turn your head.
And we're going to turn left.
And we're going to go left at the end here, please, Tony. So what mirrors should we check?
Middle and left.
Okay, well then check them. And the left one.
Oh, sorry. And we're going to turn right.
And we're then going to turn right here, please, Tony. And just one other thing to emphasise is the fact that obviously once you've turned into a new road, to make sure we are definitely checking that we know what's going on behind us by looking in the mirrors.
Oh yeah, new road, new mirrors.
New road, new mirrors, yes.
And turning left.
And we're going to go left here, please, Tony.
End of the road, right? Sorry, left.
End of this road, Tony, we're going to go left, please. Take your foot off the clutch, Tony. Foot up off the clutch, that's it. There's nobody behind us. Why is it important to make sure that we don't put our foot fully down on the clutch when we're coming up to a junction until the appropriate time? Are you familiar with the phrase
I
coast?
put it down too early.
Yes. Now, what's the problem?
Yeah.
There we go. And what problem does that possibly cause?
Oh, you lose engine braking, don't you?
And then where are you going to end up?
Well, it's coming uphill here slightly. I might not have made it to the
You
junction.
might not have made it, or indeed, if you had carried a bit more speed, you might have gone into the junction.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's
Yeah, probably could have told you
yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
If I hadn't asked him, but yes. So when we're ready, off we go. Let's make sure that we don't actually put the foot on the clutch
Right.
earlier than necessary.
And turning left.
We're going to go left